I came up with that rap when Jay-Z and Kanye West dropped this song called Niggas in Paris, excuse my French. It's a really popular song. It's probably one of the best songs of the year. So the hook for that song is Balls So Hard. So I was thinking, oh, balls so hard, I'm feminist minded. I think about, like slang terms all the time for like men's and women's genitals. So I'm thinking balls so hard. It would be so cool if a girl sang my balls are so hard, patriarchy wants to find me, because the song is about how you're such a big deal. And Jay-Z talks about like getting locked up in jail because he's done all this bad stuff, and he says, oh, we're going to Paris, we're going to celebrate, and then Kanye's like bragging about himself. So I imagined, what if Jay-Z was a feminist for 5 seconds? What would this song sound like? So that's where I came up with the idea, and then I just wrote a couple verses, and it was history. See, I go through phases with this, and it's interesting that you ask, because earlier today I was talking about written word versus freestyle, or just kind of making it up as you speak. Sometimes I feel the need to write, and then other times I despise writing. I don't even want to go near a pen. I feel like the process of actually transcribing the rhymes into word, it's just too much. It just ruins my whole energy. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll just sit in my room and just rhyme on end out loud to myself, and it will sound like nonsense. So I think I have an ambivalent relationship to writing, but it's definitely necessary because it does discipline you into really reflecting on your work and learning how to edit your own work. Because when you're freestyling, you only have one shot really to get it. So writing gives you that chance to kind of go back and look at old stuff and, write down new stuff and then put it away for a little while. So I've never written a song. I've only ever written lines. So I have about, 1,000 lines written in different notebooks. So they're there. I have an archive that I can utilize when I need to put something together, or I'll just make it up depending on how I feel.
Oh, that's really cool. What kind of advice would you give people who want to write, or just do spoken word, or slam, like what you do? Freestyle.
I would say that you have to identify what you like about it so much. And it took me a while to realize that listening to hip-hop music was such an intense experience for me. I love the tropes in the music. I love the people. I love the images they create for themselves. And, you can critique it and say, oh, it's so commercial. But it's still fabulous because these are just people, and all they're using are words. That's what's so remarkable. It's just words. They don't produce anything but a song for you. In language, and words are something that I don't have to pay for, right? So I'm just, I walk down the sidewalk and I start rapping, and at first you think you're weird, but then you start realizing that it's natural, and that when you listen to music, my response is like, oh, I could do that too. When I go see musical artists that I respect, I want to be on stage with them because I feel like I could do that. Is my skill realistically there? Probably not, but it's that dream that you have, and the way that the music or whatever it is you're pursuing turns you on. You have to get into that and just be okay with it. And at first it's really scary because you feel kind of, I don't know, nervous or embarrassed or unsure of yourself. But you just have to keep at it, and then eventually you'll meet someone, or you'll find a group, and you'll be able to connect up and then learn how to be better at what you do by working with others and getting over your fears and stuff. So number one word of advice, get over your fear and just do it. Perfect instance for me to show everybody my hat. This is a rapper named Dizzy Wright, and he's from Las Vegas, and he's an inspiration of mine. So I bought this hat, and I'm a white girl with a black boy on my back side. No, but so your question about the race and hip hop, how do I feel as a white female? That's what I rap about most. Or when I try to start a rap, that's typically where I will begin, is who am I and what am I doing here? Because rap and hip hop and the different subcultures that have emerged and dissipated over the past 25 years, they're all different kinds of people, they're from all different kinds of places, and just finding the place where you belong or finding your audience is how you become successful. So anyone could be a rapper. It just so happens that the majority of them are of a certain race, but they don't all have the same story. So that's like the number one lesson, especially now, hip hop. Especially with the internet, you can find mixtapes from all over the country, all over the world. People who are white, black, yellow, like, it doesn't matter, because hip hop is becoming something that's worldwide, and it's really accessible. So as a woman, I feel like I have ground to stand and reclaim, but I also don't feel intimidated, because I have everything in my favor stepping into the ring, because there are so few white women, especially rapping, I guess. But that's my response to the race question. I go alone. I go and be alone in my room. That's what I do. I will sit at home alone and just like rap. I have a MacBook, so I don't even have like recording software. I just use the photo booth video thing, and I take videos of me rapping, and I hardly ever review what I record. I just do it because I feel like the need to like talk or something or express something. But that's really when I let it out. And doing this on camera today is like probably only the third time that I've ever like performed. So I'm still like new. I'm still like coming out of my shell or whatever. So that's why I say get over fears and just do it, because like there's no sense in waiting, because the worst that could happen is that you have to try again.
How does it feel?
It's intense. It's like when you're on a roller coaster ride and you wish you weren't on it, but you're approaching that top peak and you're like, the fall is coming, but it's fine. It's a safe fall. It's not like you're falling off a cliff, but it's like that drop in your stomach where you just have to step on stage, let's say, in front of everybody and just like be on. It's like, what? How do you do this without being like so self-aware? So it's like that barrier that you put up between yourself and others. You just have to like kind of take that down and forget that there are people watching, and just like literally be yourself, or yourself being whoever you are when you are performing. So understanding this line between performance and like reality is really, it's been confusing, especially when you do performances, because there are people watching you. It's like it takes you out of yourself.
What drives you? That's the last question.
My drive is my passion for language. Honestly, I love language. English language. I love grammar. I love talking about technical words like demonstratives and subjunctive, like tense. And then you look at street rap, and you know, half the time the English is totally broken, but it's still hot. And I just love being within this kind of spectrum of language where you have the completely informal and like the quotidian, and like I said, like the street, what the low classes speak, you know, and what they have always spoken. And then you have this high discourse, whatever, the people who study what language means or how it is structured in the first place. So there's such a plethora of voices that can be communicated through hip-hop, through language, because it is lyric. And that's what drives me, is the language aspect. That's why I can just rhyme. Just rhyming things fly by, high sky, it's just fun, right? Because it rhymes. I mean, it's so simple. Rhyming is so simple, and that makes it special.